$100 per hour is what 54-year-old David Fredericks earns providing IT support to people who are over 60 years old. Some weeks he has up to 15 clients. So you can add it up for yourself. David can do very well. And of course, there are those weeks where he is not serving that many folks. But what he does isn't just make money. What he does is a passion for him because he loves teaching folks, sharing his experience and his knowledge, and helping people who are over 60. He enjoys helping them understand what I call the computer world. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to David. I interviewed him just a few days ago. He was in his home in Queensland, Australia. David's going to tell you how he built his business, how he's grown his business, and he's also going to give you some advice at the very end of this video that I think is fairly profound. So stay tuned to my interview with David Fredericks. Before we get to it, though, I just want to mention that in this video, I will have a link to my YouTube channel called Side Hustle Rules. It's a second channel I started to help folks like you who want to start a business. I provide business startup tips. I also tell you how you can grow your business. So check it out. It's called Side Hustle Rules. There is a link in the description box. So now let's get to our interview. My interview with David Fredericks. Welcome to Over 50 TV, David.
Welcome. Thank you, Lou.
I got a chance to look at your website, and I love the fact that you are working with older folks, senior citizens. Could you tell us a little bit about your business? Because it looks like your goal is just to help people become basically literate with the computer world.
Yes. So back in January 2014, I could see a need in the local Toowoomba community here in Queensland for better IT support for the over 60 crowd, because there wasn't a lot of help for people who go to get their computers repaired. They can get it repaired, but they have no one training them how to use the technology. So I started the business on that premise, and I taught laptops, desktops, Windows, Apple. Then I got into teaching the iPad and the Android tablets, and then the Android phones and the iPhones as well. So any of that technology that they wanted to use, basically anything from switching it on to becoming a competent Windows 11 user or user of Microsoft Office.
So you said you saw I guess you saw the need. How did you see the need?
Well, I just noticed there was a market here in Australia there wasn't many people doing this as a business at the time, and I still think I'm the only one here locally in this area who's doing it. I just love teaching these people because you learn more about the computer yourself by teaching people. Teaching the basics to people who are lay people who don't have much knowledge in that area. There's nothing greater than teaching, because you give a man a fish, you give him food for a day. You teach a man to fish, you give him food for life.
Are you making a living with your business?
It goes up and down. Like one couple of weeks, I might get like 10 or 15 customers in a week or two, and then the next week I mightn't get anything for a week or two. But it goes up and down like any business. You just got to budget for it and learn to manage your money properly. I'm putting away money for retirement, so I've got something there for one day I can buy a house or something like that, or
yeah.
I just have a bachelor pad here that's renting. But I'm comfortable. I like what I do, and I think it's a great side hustle tutoring. So
how do you get your customers?
So I have different marketing methods. I use both offline and online advertising. Online, I have a good Google listing. So I think if you just Google David Toowoomba, I count number 1 or 2 after the local member for the parliament here. I've got a YouTube channel. I've got LinkedIn. I did stay clear of Facebook though, because I think Facebook, a lot of people spend a lot of money on Facebook ads unnecessarily. It doesn't give them the coverage they want. I think it's been good for networking in the past and finding old school friends, reunions and things. But I think in recent years, it's become a forum for a lot of abuse. I try to stay clear of that platform unless someone really specifically wants to know Facebook. I teach them,
So
but I don't maintain an account on it.
yeah, so your primary way of getting your businesses is through social media other than Facebook. Is that what you're saying? Using Google?
It's both online and offline. So I've had flyers, business cards. I've had plenty of newspaper, and I've had an ad on TV, local media here. Well, around for 6 months. I've had networking at the business and social functions like the Chamber of Commerce. I go to a lot, network every month.
What do you charge your customers, the senior citizens that you're working for?
So I have a standard rate of $100 an hour, and usually the lessons are 1.5 to 2 hours in length. So if I go out to a job, I get about 150 for a job usually. So I just go out to the seniors' home in Toowoomba City area. I go a little bit out of town. I'll go as far as Highfields up the north. That's about 15 k's north of Toowoomba.
Let's put it in terms of minutes or half hour or hour. How far will you travel for that $100 per hour?
I go about probably 15, 20 k's out of town for a client. I wouldn't go too far because, sometimes you go out to see a client, you might go 100 miles to see a client and they don't turn up. They don't answer the door. And then you wasted all that petrol and that time for nothing. And also, because my business, I offer 100% money back guarantee on my clientele, on my service. If I travel a long way out of town, because of the fair trading laws here in Australia, you have to provide what they're paying for. And if they don't get what they want, well, you don't get what you want. So you've got to provide the service, answer the questions they want. And if they're not satisfied, there's no charge whatsoever, not even for petrol. So I don't, I factor that into my costs, that if I go out to a job and they're not satisfied or I'm wasting money on petrol or my time, I can make up for it in a future client.
So what are some of the other challenges that you encounter, that you face when you're working with senior citizens?
It's this fear that they're going to break it if they use it. So a lot of seniors think if you use a computer, if you touch the wrong button or you press the wrong mouse click, it's going to break. You can't break a computer just by using it. The only way you'll break it is if you get totally frustrated with it and throw it out the window. But just using a computer, it won't break.
How much of your business, David, is repeat business?
I get about half my clients repeating me, coming back and doing. I had one lady in up at North Toowoomba there. She saw me every Monday for over a year. So she just wanted to learn how to use icons and open documents and things like that, and use the laptop and the keyboard and the mouse. So I just showed her how to get around, how to manage your photos and that sort of thing.
Do you have folks? Do you ask them to, someone like that you saw every Monday for, I think you said, a year? Do you ask them to sign a contract with you?
No, there's no contracts to sign in this business. It's up to them how long they want to do the training for. I'm sort of pretty open person to how many lessons they want. I do recommend they take about 5 lessons, usually 4 to 5 lessons. But some just do a couple, and then they learn enough in that time to get some help from their children or their grandchildren. See, my service more so helps those who don't have their own children or grandchildren to help them. There's a lot of people over 60 who don't have any kids, and I'm one of them. And I just worry about those sort of people who don't have any help, because they're older than the technology's come up with technology. So they've grown up before technology existed. and they've had no kids, and they got no help from anyone to help them.
If you were sitting across from someone who is just not happy with their current employment, what would you say to them?
I would say use the skills that you already have to start out on your own. Be the captain of your own ship, so you're your own boss and no one can tell you what to do. So when you're your own boss, you choose your client base. So you haven't got all your eggs in one basket under one employer. If you work for an employer, if you lose that job, you got nothing. You got no income source. Whereas if you have a business of your own and you have a client base, if one client fires you, you got a dozen more you can use.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the good thing about business, is that you can have not just one business, you can have multiple businesses and start other side hustles. And you can grow your business to have the funds to start another business. And then that gives you more diversification in your risk. So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. If you drop that basket, all your eggs crack and fail. So you lose everything.
I want to thank you for sitting with me here today and sharing your story with our audience. I think what you're doing is fascinating. You're serving a market that you determined, you found a niche, you're serving that market, and I just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Lou.